good. Is he here with you?
No, he's home.
He's back in LA.
Yeah.
So Meagan and Devon are married. They've been married now for
almost 5 years.
Almost 5 years.
Yeah.
This is them at is this at the Golden Globe party?
This is at the Golden Globes in Style after party.
You look good, Meagan.
Thank you.
and I've never had a problem with the modern way that women who are married to men of the cloth dress. I don't have a problem with it, but a lot of your constituency does.
Yeah.
Devon is a man of the cloth,
yes.
and Meagan is a woman of the streets.
I'd say I'm both. You know?
Yeah, but you know what? But you own that. Meagan is from LA, and look, she's been acting since she's 4 years old, so you've been a showgirl since forever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that's a big part of it is like, you know, people are like, well, you need to dress appropriate. I'm like, well, I grew up in the business doing, you know, shows off Broadway with drag queens. This is appropriate to me.
Yeah, and Devon likes
experience.
it. He's from Oakland. What's your business?
Yeah.
Well, let me show you how she presented a church award.
I'm so confused. Hold.
I mean,
let me clarify.
Meagan, look, you didn't even wear nipple covers.
I didn't even know I was presenting a church award.
Well, did you fire somebody for not telling you that?
It was them last minute. They just changed it, and I'm not gonna lie, I still didn't even think anything because I didn't feel that I was inappropriate. But obviously, I learned really quick that people had a problem with that.
If you knew that you were presenting a church award, a gospel award, would you have still worn the dress anyway?
I would have worn a different dress, but it still would have been sexy.
I love you. Well, when you run into godly people in the streets, do they ever say anything to you?
You know,
or hit you with their purse?
No, and they better not. I mean, I'm gonna pray for them, but no. You know, it's people in the streets are like. Usually, a lot of women come up to me. They're like, "Thank you," because I wouldn't go into church because people say I don't look the role, or people say I don't fit in, or people say that whatever it is. And so I appeal to people who are people who've been bullied and people who have been told they're not good enough for God. When it's like, you're not God. Let God be God. Period. Point blank.
Well, I can tell you who you do appeal to. You appeal to men everywhere. I mean, our son is 16. Meagan, you're 35. Our son told us before getting on the bus this morning, ask Meagan, what's good? but all the boys love you. Men, boys. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful? You still got it,
Thank you, Jesus.
Yes.
Thank you, Lord.
Yes.
Now, give it again.
It's wonderful being a sex symbol. Your husband doesn't have a problem with it, does he?
No, and I think, I don't want to just be one thing, I want to be everything. I want to be a superhero. I want to be sexy. I want to be strong. I want to be spiritual. I want to be everything that I'm called to be, and it's a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, it's your sister Roland, and all I need is a few minutes to discuss the pending divorce of Meagan Good and Devon Franklin. So, first of all, let's set a standard, especially when we're talking about situations like this, not specifically talking about the divorce, but about the different conduct that was done. So how do you know someone is a judge besides having the judge in front of their name? They wear the robe, and they have a courtroom. How do you know the person is a police besides have them having their badge? It's because of their uniform, the uniform that they wear. And just like a doctor or nurse, the majority of doctors are nurse because they're doctors that are a nurse that they wear suits and different things. But the majority, to know if they are a nurse or a doctor, they have the scrubs. Or to know if they are, let's forget doctors and nurses because they are different medical professionals, they have the scrub. So when you see the scrubs, they are a medical professional, and then it breaks down whether they're a nurse, respiratory therapists, and different things like that. So that's how you distinguish them. So when you're a Christian, people may say, oh, then how do you know somebody is a Christian? There's no uniform. Yeah, it may not be a physical uniform, a uniform that says, "Oh, I'm Christian." But the Bible says, "You shall know them by their fruits." Their fruits is their actions. The way they conduct themselves, the way you dress. It's not only in the way you dress; it's the way you talk, it's the way you dress, it's the way you treat people. That will let people know that you are Christian. So it's not that the person gonna say, some people, "Yeah, I'm a Christian. I've been a Christian for 25 years. Yeah, I love Jesus." No. Just because you say you're a Christian doesn't mean you're a Christian. People have to see your fruits. So that will determine if you are a Christian or not. So we gotta look at their fruit. So Meagan Good has been criticized a lot because of the way that she dresses. And people, like, well, maybe there's some stuff that people see, the way they go about doing it is really out of line. But when you are a Christian, you're a Christian woman, you're a Christian wife, there's certain ways you're supposed to carry yourself, because the Bible says you're supposed to dress modestly and in decency. So as a Christian woman, that's what you're supposed to do. But if you are, like I was talking about in the video with Ciara, if you're an entertainer or actress, you have different ways that you conduct yourself. But as the minute that you put the title of Christian on yourself, you cannot dress in any certain way. And then you can't, when I'm acting, I'm not a Christian. When I'm not acting, I am a Christian. It can't be like that. So she said in the article that she thought church was a safe place. And then safe place, where she could be safe, people would accept her as she is, because they always say come as you are and stuff like that. But you come as you are, but remember, you cannot stay as you are. So it looks like she came in the church, or in his church, or in Christianity, with arms wide open, with high expectations. People gonna accept me the way I am, everybody gonna love me, and different things like that. I always tell people, when you first become a Christian, or you rededicate your life back to Christ, you cannot come. Unfortunately, it's not supposed to be this way, but this is how it is. You cannot come into church with your high expectations. Everybody gonna love me, everybody gonna accept me the way I am, because a majority of people will not. You will find people that put you off, that makes you don't want to go to church, that makes you, and then most of the time, instead of turning it, like say, that person is the problem, not only we have problem with the person, we have problem with the people in the church, and then you have problem with God. And you start to hate God because of what the person did to you. So it seems like, this is my opinion, it seems like she came in expecting too much. And then she got a rude awakening from these people in church. That's what happened. Because you have to remember, Jesus says when he comes back, he's going to separate the sheep from the goats. Because he said that, that means in the church, there are sheep and there are goats. So sheep mean a person who follows what the shepherd does. A goat does not. It pretends, it sneaks in the fold, pretends it is a sheep just so they take out a sheep. And some of them not even goats, some of them is foxes too. They come in, sneak in, and try to take out one of the sheep who is probably wandering, who probably not strong, and then they try to take them out. So these goats, foxes, whatever, snakes are coming in because the gatekeepers are not vetting these people properly. So a lot of these people have high positions in the church. They have titles and different things like that. And then everybody's praising them. So you're thinking, this person is a good sister. They're a good brother, but they were not vetted properly. Or they were before and then they started to stray. So these people may have some connections. They may have money. They may be articulate. And then they get positions in the church. And then they position themselves to do all kind of stuff. So they do all kind of stuff to people. They do all kind of stuff to people's children, which is not supposed to be. But it's the gatekeepers that are not watching. It's the gatekeepers that are not vetting these people enough. So these are the people who we encounter most of the time that puts us off, that hurt us in the church, that make us feel like we are unworthy. So it's not that, okay, that's because she's been acting all her life. She is used to dressing a certain way. But in the church, there is a standard that we must follow. Yes, you can come like that, but you cannot stay in that way. You cannot stay dressing that way. Because I remember we used to have a service for the youth. It didn't last long because it seems like when they're doing stuff for the youth, people don't like stuff like that because they think I don't know. But it didn't last long. But it was a good handful of youth that were coming through. And it was one in particular young lady. So a lot of them that came in with breasts, shorts, and different things like that. And we never looked at them down in such a way. And by the end of the service, most of the time, you either see they trying to cover up themselves, or they ask for something to cover themselves because the way they dress, they felt because of what was preached, and nothing was being preached about you dressing in any type of way. That has, before it ended, because we didn't have a lot of services. That's what happened, because when the gospel of Jesus, when the true gospel is preached, you don't need to tell nobody what to do, how to dress, what to say, what to do, how to act. The gospel will change their life. So that's my opinion, what happened. So when we become Christians, when we come back to Christ, you have, in a sense, you're not off, you're not like putting people off, but you have to be careful, because like I always I saw a quote like that say, sometimes the most wickedest people can be the people in the church, but sometimes the most awesome, great people that will have an impact on your life is from the church. But you have to be able to vet them. You have to be able to find who they are, because I remember I went to a church. Well, I'm still at the church, actually. And I had an issue with, like I said, a particular leader in the church, because we had some altercation between me, not no fighting altercation, but I had said something, give her advice on something, and she did not like that. So because she had a high position in the church, and many people, she had a following. So when I would go to the church, she basically, when I come to the church, me and my children, nobody would want to sit by us. Nobody. I mean, seriously. And if they had to place somebody in the church, the person would sit all the way to the end, and you could see that they was upset. So this is something that would have made me, of course, leave the church. That's something that's supposed to make me leave the church, never come to church ever again. Because all I was doing is just giving an advice, giving something that I saw. You just keep your eye on that. And then it turned out, and then they would always have like a crew, and then when they see me passing, they always like whispering. That's something some people would have just left the church and never turned back. But thank God, I had already found a good person in church, a true person in church that had my back. And then she told me, "Oh, God said you can't go nowhere. You have to stay here." I mean, I was so mad. I had to stay here. I didn't do nothing to these people. Why can't I go to another church? That was so upsetting. But anyway, so I had to stay in the church and endure all that. Oh my goodness, that was so hard. But of course, we have to. God teaches us these things to make us strong, so that we are able to help other people and to make us more resilient. Because now it's 2021. That was a few years back. This lady is no longer in the church, and how she left the church was ridiculous. But that's not something I remember. Even I was waiting on something bad to happen. But while I was waiting on something bad to happen to her, because when whatever you sow, you reap. That's what I was saying. I was hurting my own self. So I had to remove that. I had to forgive her and focus on what God had for me. But what happened to her is like, I had to pray and ask God, please have mercy on this lady. But this is the thing, why I say this is what happens in church. Church people hurt you. But we that's why we have to vet people enough, and we have to keep our guards up a little, not too much, so you don't be off-putting, but we have to put our guards up because we don't know who we're dealing with. We're dealing with different people. And another point that I wanted to say is what she said in the interview with Wendy Williams. She said she wanted to be everything, and particularly Wendy Williams mentioned, "Oh, you're a sex symbol," and then she's like, "Yeah, different things like that." But if you are a Christian, you cannot be everything. You cannot. That's because you. There's only so much that you can do because you're human. And then, as a Christian, how can you be a sex symbol? You cannot, because the Bible tells us, say, friendship with the world is enmity with God. So if you want to be friends with the world, where I want to do this in the world, I want to do that, but then I want to change, and then and be a Christian, be a first lady, and prayer warrior, that doesn't work. It doesn't work. So she wanted to be all of this, but it wasn't gonna work. And then I even heard an interview where she said before she even got married that she took her time to heal. In my opinion, I don't think she took enough time to heal from the different relationships that she had, and now all those relationships in the world, and now she came and thinking she got a man of God, and then look how it ended. This is another thing that made one of us, wow, I was in the world, I got these men, it didn't work out. I came in the church, I got this man of God, it didn't work out. So she may want to give up on relationships, but sometimes we have to really dig deep within us and say, wow, did we really get healed? Why did I go after these men in the world? Sometimes we have to dig at the root. Why did I go after these men at the world of the world? Why did it not work out? So, and all of these opinions, people have different opinions. People criticizing her because she's like, even after she presented the award at the BET for the Gospel Award, and then when she went on Twitter, she saw she was trending for stuff like that. So all of this people may be clowning her husband, or people saying this and that about her, people saying this and that about him, and different things. So what we tend to do when people are criticizing us, sometimes we take it out on the people that we love. And it may be it was going back and forth. Oh, you should have defended me when she said this. Oh, why you can't be like so and so wife? Oh, why you can't be like so and so husband? So it may have been that because of all this pressure and all this talking and all this people speaking stuff into their marriage, and then they didn't have, I don't know what the issue, I don't know if there was an issue, or it was they just didn't want to have kids yet. I'm not sure. People talking about that because when you married, and everybody want to know when you're gonna have kids, when that's their business. So all of this, oh, she's not gonna give you a child. Oh, you're not gonna have no boy. When she gonna give you a little girl? And then all this pressure, and then they could be going at it with each other. So that's what that's now. We have come here out of divorce after 9 years. And then at the end of the day, said that it's not, nobody's to blame, nobody is at fault. But if nobody's at fault, hopefully, I don't know, maybe they could work it out. But each of them is gonna have to go and dig down to the roots and find out, what is it? Where did I place a part? Because what if you're gonna separate? We both parties had a fault in this divorce. So we need to be honest with ourselves and see, where did I go wrong? Did I truly get healing? I thought things that people said wouldn't have affected me, the first year, the second year, third year. But then after the fourth, fifth year, it really started to take a toll on me. And it really started to make me maybe have a disdain for her, maybe have a dislike, maybe be annoyed with her, maybe be annoyed with him. I thought we were good for second, third year, but it started to take a toll. So God can do anything. Maybe they could come back together. I'm not sure what it is, but like I said, you know, it may really have you thinking, wow, she was in the world, and she was dating all the guy, didn't work out, and wow, she came to church, and then look, she got a man of God, and then it still didn't work out. Wow, there's no hope for nobody. You can't base your life on people, what happened to people, because you don't really know what really happened. And then most, like I said, each person need to step back and see where they were wrong. So that's all I had to say on the situation. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.